G'day Grievers. I've got a couple of zucchini or courgettes that I need to use. Guess I'm making zucchini fritters. Welcome to the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. First up, if you would like to make this recipe. Oh, I gotta mute myself. All right, sorted. I have the YouTube channel open too, just for checking comments and stuff. If you would like to try this recipe, you will find it in the link. It's a Donna Hay, one of my favourites, as many of you know. You really can't go wrong with her. And I've only got a couple of zucchinis. Mine weigh just under 500 grams. Her recipe's for 800 grams. So for 4 servings, whereas I'm making like for 2. So I'm going to be halving the recipe. But the first thing we're going to do is grate the courgette or the zucchini. G'day Grievers wandering in. Here come the beautiful people. Probably could have grated the zucchini before I went live, but it's Saturday morning. I've been really busy and I'm hungry. Went for a walk on the beach this morning. It was beautiful, and I think I might go there for a swim later. The weather's getting nice. It's still not warm in the water, but it's a good run-in, run-out kind of temperature. So we're just grating the zucchini at the moment. How you groovers doing? Oh, I've already lost one of my groovers. Never mind. Guess there's better things to be watching on YouTube, right? Drama. Got to be catching some drama. I'm only doing this to make you all hungry. And also to use up the zucchini. They're still in good form. But, you know, we don't like food wastage at the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. So we use things as we find them. Hang on a sec. There's a big blob of grated zucchini. Let's move on to the other one. Now, I do have a fancy whiz-bangy gadgety thing that goes on the end of my KitchenAid that grates stuff, but it is such a pain in the ass. It doesn't do a very good job, and it's an absolute bitch to clean. So, some good old-fashioned elbow grease. This grater is like an antique. I think I got this when I was at uni. Still going strong. I've still managed to grate skin off my knuckles using this little bastard. I love a brunch on a Saturday. Don't really feel like a lot of food first thing when I wake up, but after doing some stuff, bit of exercise and all the rest of it, get the brunch or the early lunch happening. And that'll keep me going till mid-afternoon, where I'll probably have a little bit of a snack, some fruit probably. And then dinner. God knows what I'm making for dinner tonight. Well, this is a workout and a half. And those last little bits, just take them out of the equation and chop them up finely. And that, imagine how much bloody zucchini you'll have if you do double the recipe. That's a lot of zucchini. I'm going to need a bigger bowl. Okay, now a little trick for a lot of recipes involving the zuc or the courgette. They are very watery. And you've got to sort of factor in fluid when you're cooking with them. So this recipe calls for this action. Just chuck it on some paper towel. Get it all on there. Oh God, I'm loving my new chopping board so much. Sunny's joined me in the kitchen. She's a tripping hazard. Look out, Groover. Did you forget I was here? She's a trip hazard, man. And then just whack a bit more paper towel on and fold it all up in a little bundle and take it over to your sink and just squeeze out the excess moisture. Oh, it's already, the moisture has already busted out. So this is just going over to the sink region. And yeah, just squeeze out the excess water as best as you can. A bit more elbow grease going on here. There's a lot of excess moisture. Hi, Green Eyes. I'm just over at the sink squeezing moisture out of my zucchini. Holy shit, there's a lot. Now, sometimes people use a clean tea towel to do this, but paper towel is easier because you can just chuck it into the compost. But if you want to use a tea towel, go for it. Oh, seriously, I'm getting a workout this morning. All right, I need to get a bigger bowl. I have my medium-sized green bowl ready, but we're moving on to the big one. Just going to wipe down the board. Clean up the crime scene, so to speak. How are you, Green Eyes? What are you doing this weekend? I had that tuna pasta as a leftover for dinner last night. I just pan-fried it in a little bit of butter. I actually think it was better one day old. It was delicious. Delicious. Okay, now I'm going to extricate the grated zucchini from the paper towel using another bowl because I've just cleaned up my breadboard, my chopping board. Get all the paper towel out because the one thing you don't want in your zucchini fritters is paper towel. It's probably a bit more roughage. And yeah, that can go straight into your compost if you have a compost bin. Paper towel does disintegrate. Actually, maybe this bowl will be fine. One less bowl to wash is always a good thing. Locally. So there's a grated. You're juicing. Yeah, it was delicious. Did you have any left over? Because I really enjoyed it last night. It was yum. A couple of eggs are going in. If you're making the Donna Hay recipe, this is a big egg. Like it's huge compared to the other one. But yeah, chuck in your eggs. I'm doing half the recipe, but I don't do 1.5 eggs. Two eggs is fine. As far as I'm concerned. I also had some leftover tuna in the tin, so I added a bit more tuna and what else did I add? Oh, some semi-dried tomatoes because I only had about 4 of the cherry tomatoes left. But yeah, it was absolutely delicious. Next up, some feta. My little pot of feta is still going strong. I still think this is such a great idea. Look at it. It's got its own little basket. Now, the recipe says 250 grams, which is like roughly a cup. So we're just going to put the equivalent of like half a cup. I did wash my hands before I started cooking. And just crumble that up. Crumble the feta. Or if you've got a big block, you could roughly chop it. But I think I think hands are the best kitchen utensils. So crumble away. What sort of juice are you making? Actually, before I continue on with the fritteroonies, the Donna Hay recipe, she serves it with a little cherry tomato and mint salad, which looks... I got this at Coles. This feta. I'll just put the lid on and I'll show you the brand. I didn't have any idea till... So it's Castello feta. But I had no idea when I bought it. But when I opened it up, yeah, it's got its own little basket. It's brilliant. And it's a nice feta too. Just going to put that to one side because I'm going to chuck some bacon on. Hi, Sunny. Just going to warm up my pan for the bacon. Yeah, so Donna serves it with her Feta Fritters with a really nice looking little cherry tomato salad in the recipe. But I'm all out of cherry tomatoes and I've got bacon. And bacon's my favourite vegetable. So just cutting off the rinds first and I'll let them... So this is some streaky bacon that I'm just going to do as the side. But I trim the rinds off and pop them into the pan, and then as the pan heats up, the bacon grease starts to come out of the little bit of rind that I've popped in the pan. And then I remove the rinds and cook the bacon. Hi, Sammy. Would you like a little piece of bacon, maybe? She hovers for snacks. Let's see. Would you like to try some bacon? Here you go. Tell me what you think of that. She's no dumb. Pineapple, apple, blood orange, lemon, and ginger. Oh, that sounds amazing. Yum. We'll do 6 little rashers of bacon. You liked it, Sunny? Didn't know you're into bacon. That's interesting. Learn something new every day, don't we, Maud? That's it, though. You don't get more. The vet said you're a very good weight at the moment. We don't want to make you a little fatty boomba by giving you lots of bacon. So this is just heating up, and when it starts sizzling, yeah, the fat will come, sorry, the heat will start to make the bacon grease come out of the rinds. And when we've got a good spread on the bottom of that, then we'll whack the bacon in. Back to fritters though, we've got 2 grated zucchinis or courgettes. We've added a couple of eggs and we've added about half a cup of feta because I'm making this for 2. Next, we want some plain flour. So this is not a keto one. If keto people wanted to make this, they can use their keto-friendly flours like almond or coconut or whatever. But I like to do a variety of recipes on my channel. I don't want everything to be keto-friendly. And I don't mind having carbs at this time of the day. I'm just not a fan of carbs at night. So I'm using, because I'm trying to do sort of roughly half the recipe, I'm doing half a cup of plain flour. Her recipe says to use 3/4 of a cup. So I probably could have used a 1/3 cup measurement, but too late. She's in. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. I love a juice. That sounds so delicious. Nice summery flavours, and blood orange and pineapple. Yum. So, yeah, a teaspoon of baking powder. And then here's my mint that I picked. What was I cooking the other day when I needed mint? Oh, I made that tzatziki. I just put it in a little cup of water and it's still amazing. We're going to put some mint in. Probably about 1/4 of a cup's worth. Gosh, it smells delicious. I love fresh herbs so much. I've got so much mint out on my deck. Just going to give the bacon rind a bit of a stir. Let that start to come out and render a bit so we can use that to cook our bacon rashers. Just chop up your mint leaves. Whack them in. Now, the one thing that is starting to grow out of my herb garden, but it's not quite at a point where I want to use it because there's not a lot of it yet, but it's coming through for summer, which is great, is parsley. So I'm just going to be adding some of this lightly dried parsley, my emergency parsley that I have in the fridge. And about the same amount, about 1/4 of a cup, which is nearly all of this bag. About that sort of an amount. Can't really overdose on herbs. And some sea salt and pepper. Season it. You don't have to go super nutty with the salt because, I've not just said that and gone nuts with it, but feta is salty. So people that don't like a lot of salt, you could actually leave salt out because you'll get enough salt from the feta. And that's a cracked pepper. And then we're going to mix this all together. I do love a fritter, and it's a great way to use veggies. Like if you've got kids that are a bit funny about veggies, if you say, which I don't, I didn't have kids at all, but if you say you're making like pancakes, they'll probably eat them even though they're veggie. So give that a good mix. Oh, okay. We're here. I did kind of forget about you briefly. When the bacon starts cracking like a whip or the rinds, that's a good time to remove them. And then we'll add the rashers because they're going to be my garnish. Bacon is my garnish this morning. Meanwhile, on my other pan, over there in the distance, I'm going to heat up some virgin olive oil to fry the fritters in. You want good coverage over the whole base of the pan whenever you're doing like fritters or pancakes or whatever. We're not deep frying this like you would with like a zucchini puff. So you don't need to have like a centimetre of oil in your pan, but you do want the base to be covered. And we want it on a medium-high heat. And the reason for that is when it's heated up and we start cooking the fritters, you really want the bottom side of the fritters to get cooked really quickly and nice and golden, and it makes it much easier to flip them. And what I'm going to do is get a spatula thing, like a flipper thing. Yeah, mine's rumbling now too because the bacon's smelling amazing. And what I might do is see if I can move my camera a little bit for fry pan cam. Look at that. I'm not overly pedantic with fritters and pancakes that they all have to be the same size and shape. But I do tend to try to use the same sort of spoon. So like she suggests using about 2 tablespoons of mixture per fritter. So I'll just be doing like a heat on this one and then trying to make little sort of similar shapes. Often I'll use like a one of my little cup measurers if I want to try to be a bit consistent. But yeah, you don't have to be really pedantic about it. Just whatever works. Whatever works for you works. The end. Oh, yum, the bacon smells amazing. All right, now one little test I learned, one way to test oil, which I learned when I was in Vietnam. This is a cooking chopstick. I actually use them quite a lot. But one of the tricks I learned in Vietnam is sometimes people will throw a little piece of bread into oil to see if it's hot. But in Vietnam, we learned when you put the chopstick on the base of the pan, when the oil is at the right temperature to start cooking, it will sort of bubble up around the chopstick, the bit that's on the pan. And so far it's not. So We'll wait a bit longer because you do want the oil to be nice and hot. But yeah, that's the Vietnamese trick. You could just use a normal chopstick. Obviously, if smoke starts coming off this oil, you know it's really hot. You don't want it to get to that point. But how cool is that little trick? And there's got to be like visible bubbling around it. It's getting there. I can see the oil starting to make some movement. But we really want to wait for that to be bubbling. But that's a wicked little trick that I learned in Vietnam. And I love using cooking chopsticks for like doing stir fries and stuff. I'm going to be making a stir fry out on the barbie maybe even tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a really yummy beef stir fry. It's very pretty. Have a look at this. It's like beef and black beans and cashews. But yeah, because the summery weather, it's time to do some barbecue stuff. And I've got a wok burner on my barbie, so that's what we're going to be making tomorrow. The other thing I would like to make tomorrow, if I've got time, is some blueberry scones. There's blueberries are everywhere at the moment, and they're a really good price. And they're my favourite fruit. So I've noticed my channel is starting to be very obvious what my preferred tastes and veggies and things are, but there's no point in me cooking stuff I don't really enjoy. But there's a lot of other fruits and veggies that I do like. But yeah, we're starting to get a lot of coconut. It's almost there. Still, it's bubbling a little bit more, but still not quite there. The bacon, however, is coming along strong. But I really like crunchy bacon. I don't like soggy bacon. So that's where the bacon is at the moment. Still got a way to go for me. Are you having your juice yet, though, Green Eyes? That'll fill you up a little bit. I've actually got a strawberry smoothie video that I made yesterday or the day before, 2 days ago. I haven't uploaded it yet. But I like doing the little smoothie ones because I think smoothies are, for me personally, in the morning, I like making them and having them on the car when I'm driving into work. But it's a great way to get your fruit and even your veggies for the day. I do a lot of green smoothies. But I like putting the recipes up there because, yeah, there are people that if they got into smoothies, they'd probably end up having, you know, a good amount of fruit and veg in their daily diet. That's pretty hot to me. So let's whack on a couple of fritters. It's starting to smoke, so I reckon that's good to go. We're just going to, yeah, it's definitely good to go. I'm just going to do a couple at a time. Never overcrowd your pan or you'll end up with stewed whatever it is you're crowding in your pan. And then just use your little flipper or a spatula or whatever just to flatten them down a little bit. And then they'll get cooking. Now, you probably want to give them about, depending on the oil temperature, 2 to 3 minutes on each side, but you do want them golden. So I can already see the oil is a really good temp, like it is getting golden, which is what you want. And you do want them to be nicely cooked through, but you sort of want that crunchy outside and then that yummy, moist. You're trying to clean up. Yeah, juices are messy. It is worth it, though. I just use my little blender. Although when I was with Jim, we used to have smoothies a lot, and we'd use our big blender, and we'd make enough for 4 smoothies. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Oh, perfect, Tori. That's golden. The colours on this camera are so misleading. When things are really bright, they look grey. I mean, they are pretty well done, but they're not burnt, but they're that yummy, crunchy outside. So when you eat it, you're going to get this yummy, soft inside with all the zucchini and the feta, and then on the outside, a really good crunch. Speaking of crunch, let's give the bacon a bit of a... Yum, I can even smell the feta. All right, I'm going to actually take these little groovers out and put the next couple in. They're not burnt. They're perfect. See that? There you go. There's better lighting. They are perfect. All right, let's chuck the next couple of groovers in. Still got a decent amount of oil in the pan, but always check the oil level because sometimes you do need to add a little bit more, and there's nothing wrong with adding a bit more oil. Let's see if I can fit 3 in the pan. So this is going to be my breakfast tomorrow too, or my brunch probably. So I go to the gym pretty early on a Sunday morning, and then there's a native plant giveaway happening at our local community house. Someone very kindly donated 600 native shrubs, bushes and trees. So, and they're just there to give away to the community because they love us obviously planting natives, and I've got 3/4 of an acre. So I'm going to go down there and get a couple. I'm going to get one for me and one for my neighbour. I don't think that's greedy. Maybe I'll get 4. I might get a couple of little shrubs or something. $60 a kilo for snapper. Holy shit. That's like down here, growing up, we used to live on flathead. We'd go fishing. People would give you flathead. Like, you actually couldn't really give it away. Everyone had flathead. And now it's like $52 a kilo. It's crazy, isn't it? Australia's getting so expensive. Luckily, I've got friends down here with boats, and they give me flathead a lot, so I don't have to pay for it. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. Flathead was 54. Yep. So what are you making with snapper? Yum. I was going to make some little fish patties the other day, and was looking at fish and was like, there was some fresh barramundi, and I was like, oh, because that's not obviously caught down here, but it had been flown in presumably, because I said to them, that's not frozen and defrosted. They said, no, it's fresh. Came in today. But then I looked at the price tag and it was 60 something, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. Okay, they're looking good. These are really easy. They hold their shape. They cook very quickly. And they're going to be delicious. And I like them a little bit oozy. I like a bit of oozy out the sides of the fritter. Okay, let's get the last. Maybe only one. I see you, bacon. Yeah, this is going to be one. So I'm just going to scrape the rest of the mix out. Move the oil into the middle a bit. I haven't made these before. There's very few recipes I make on here that I haven't made before. Like, I like just experimenting, because then if it's a disaster or it tastes like shit, you'll get honest reviews from me. But every now and then, like that tuna pasta, I will do sort of things that I make all the time as well. So this is made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'll be 6 fritters. And they're pretty big, and I probably only eat 2. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to eat 2 today. I'll keep 2 out for tomorrow, and then I'm going to freeze 2, because it's pretty cool sometimes when you're like, what do I want to eat? Like, even if you get home from work and you've got some salad ingredients and you're like, what am I going to find? What am I going to cook? And then you find a couple of zucchini fritters sitting in the freezer. Happy days. And I'm pretty good at eating. I'm going to turn that pan off now, because we only need to cook the underside of that last fritter. I'm pretty good at going through my freezer. That's often how I choose what I'm going to be cooking, is if I find some chicken or some minced meat or something like that in the freezer, that's usually what motivates me. But I really want to do a beef stir fry out on the barbie tomorrow because I haven't done a lot of red meat lately, and I do love a stir fry, and that one looks really pretty. All right, so the little groover's just going to finish up in the oil. Let me now get the camera back for plating up. As if by magic. Oh, that's my washing machine going nuts in the background too. All right, I'm going to turn the bacon off as well. It's really nice bacon. It hasn't ended up being this, gigantic pan of oil. Hang on a sec, speaking of mess. Oh my God, green eyes, seriously, this chopping board. Actually, while there's nothing on it, I'll show it to you. Get yourself off to Kmart and get one of them. They are so good. So I'm just going to show you why I love it. So it's a chopping board. It's got, on one side, it's got like a little ridge cut out. But on the end of it, it's got this little extra bit of wood. So you put it, I don't use the other side with the cutout, but you put it on your bench and push it and it sits. It's like a permanent chopping block. It's bloody brilliant. And I think smoked mackerel pate, yum. Yeah, I like having something savoury to snack on too. In fact, I'll just remind me, I'll take that little groover out. I can't remember what I paid for it. It might have been like $20 or $25. But I swear to God, it's genius. It doesn't slip around when you're using it. It's really easy to clean, wipe down. I think I'm actually going to go back to Kmart and get another one because this won't last forever. And I absolutely love it. You got a fantastic board from Hugh & Sawmill. Yeah, very heavy. Whereas this is really light too. So for cleaning it and stuff. But I just clean it. I just wipe it down with soapy water and my sponge over here and then just give it a bit of a dry. Or let it dry itself. All right, so the fritterinis. I'm going to go for the one that's got a bit of oozage. Because I like that little sort of fully cooked, but, that yummy sort of that bit. And then I'm going to whack the bacon on top. But if I make these again, I will definitely try Donna's little cherry tomato salad that she served them with because that looked delicious. Just going to put a nice little stack of bacon on top. Look at this. Look at how perfectly I've plated this. This belongs in a cookbook, Groovers. Oh, wait, it is. It's in Donna Hay's book, and the link to the recipe is in the description. Hi, Susie. Good evening, you wonderful woman. What have you cooked? Thank you for popping in, Susie. Lovely to see you. So we've made zucchini, or what you would call courgette, and feta fritters. Little fritters. And then I've just decided to serve it with this bacon, and I think it looks really pretty. And the other thing I'm going to add, I'm just going to put a little bit of my beautiful Tassie. Zoom in. There in yellow, it does actually say Tasmanian. Oh, hang on, it nearly zoomed. There we go. Tasmania. Lentil Kitchen tomato and chili sauce. I'm just going to put a little bit on the top of it as well. I mean, I could have pan fried up some big tomato. I've got big tomatoes. But I went for the bacon instead. And a little bit of salt. A bit more pepper. And I'll do a taste test. Haven't made these before. They smell and look pretty amazing. So now, try to hold this. Oh, it's because the camera's on a weird angle. The bacon isn't leaning like it looks like it is. That's probably better. Anyway, let's not get pedantic about that. Let's do the taste test. I'm going to make a cup of tea to wash this down. Is that a hot sauce? Oh, the Tasmanian reference is just that it's Tassie, it's local, and I'm all about promoting local. Support local, buy local. But this particular one does have a little bit of chili in it, yeah. Oh, wow, these are so delicate. Like I heard the crunch when I cut them, when I cut it. But look at the filling. If I can get the camera to focus. Focus, little camera. Come on, you know you want to. I've probably steamed the camera up now. But, yeah, the filling is really delicate. Let me try them. Yum. Oh, my God. All right. Very light. Even though there's flour in it, they're not dense, they're not rubbery. They're super light. They're crunchy on the outside. The zucchini and the feta, I've got a bit of both. They're moist. They're really light and fluffy. So I better try some with some bacon and some hot sauce, okay? Very artistic. Oh, Tissy, I thought you were in the US, but if you say zucchini, where are you, Susie? It does look great and it tastes amazing. The other thing I would probably do when I end this live stop it talking with your mouth full. Don't do a Molly go lightly. I've got an avocado as well, so I'll probably go and slice that up and add that to this plate. But 10 out of 10. I will be honest with you and tell you when food I make is shit. This is not shit. This is delicious. It was really quick and easy too. If you have friends staying and you wanted to make them a really yummy brunch before they head home or whatever, something like this with a nice hot coffee, they will leave your house with a big grin on their face. I don't know if it's showing you bites that I have is a good look or not, but it's delicious. But yum. It's a 10 out of 10 brunch. I've got leftovers for tomorrow for brunch. I'm going to freeze the other two. I'll be over the moon if I stumble across them. The feta and zucchini together is a great combination anyway. Oh, you call it zucchini? Are you sure? I think some people in the States say courgette, which makes me always want to sing Little Red Courgette because I'm a dickhead. But, yeah, try it. It's beautiful. And the recipe link is in the description. Also, I really have I'm hoping to achieve my goal for this channel, which is to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I've got 97. And I know from my data, only 25% of the people who watch this channel are subscribed. Please subscribe. I'm not being greedy. I just want to get to 100. So if you know people who love cooking or want to learn how to cook stuff that's super easy, I always try to do things that are seasonal, simple and affordable. I do some pretty complex cooking in this kitchen, but when I go live, I try to do things that are not that hard to do, but really yummy. Oh, there's a man on YouTube, TikTok, does recipes from the 1900s. I've got lots of old recipes and recipe books, like my great-grandfather, my grandpa, my grandma's, my mum, CWA. I collect cookbooks, so I've got a lot of fairly old ones. But the problem with them is I have to make adjustments all the time for oven temperatures, like my oven's fan force and stuff, and I find they're so hit and miss. But I have got some pretty funny books that I'm going to start doing things out of because you guys will just be like, what the hell is she making? But yeah, if you do know anyone that likes cooking channels, please spread the word, share the channel with your people if you can. I just want to get to 100 subs. Once I've done that, I'll stop asking people to help me out until we get to like 197, and then my goal is to get to 200. I'll be a bit pushy again. But I'm going to go. I want to eat these while they're hot. They're delicious. Have a crack, and also check out all the other recipes on my on this channel as well, because there's some absolute doozies. Just ask Green Eyes. She made the tuna pasta the other night that I made and loved it. And you can't get a better review than that. And if anyone's watching the replay and you do try these recipes, please feel free to put a comment under what you thought of them. And also, if there's anything you would like me to cook, let me know, because I'm happy to take suggestions as well. But I'm out of here. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thanks for popping in, Susie and Green Eyes, and see you all again very soon.